And welcome back to the Halo Effect Real Estate Show with Dedee Harper, aka the Real Estate Angel, and she's helping you put wings to your dreams. This is a radio show for those who desire to purchase their own home, own a business, earn six figures, get that bag, as she said, and for those who want to become successful, financially independent entrepreneurs, such as a realtor. And so joining us is an entrepreneur himself, Marcellus Womack. Thank you for joining in with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling the effect of the halo right next to the real estate angel, Dedee Harper.
Absolutely. She has definitely spreaded her wings over these radio airwaves. And so we're ready to get right back into this. So what has been your topic today, Dedee?
The topic is a spiritual approach to entrepreneurship.
And why did you want to discuss this? What's your perspective on this?
I wanted to discuss it because I believe that to start and to be successful in entrepreneurship, there needs to be a spiritual approach, something bigger than just the money, something bigger than just the things, but it has to be a bigger why on why you're doing something. And if it's led by God and if it's his purpose for you, you will succeed because you want to be in entrepreneurship. You want to succeed. You want to be successful. So let's find out the bottom line. Before you start, let's start with purpose. And actually to be into doing what you should be doing because we can do a whole lot in entrepreneurship. Sometimes I'm asked to join so many different avenues, whether you want to join this particular company because you want to make money. I had someone call me and they were like, would you like to make six figures? One of my friends. And of course you want to make six figures. Of course you want to make that money. But is that for me? I can get involved with it and make it nothing because that's not my purpose. That's not something for me. So I have to just stay nearer to what my purpose is and what my calling is. And if it's so, he will bless it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I would even share with that it describes faith. Bible describes faith as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And so when it is invisible, that's when that faith comes into play. When you can't see it, when it doesn't exist. So almost when you don't see anything, and sometimes you're in a place of, I don't know what it is, that's the perfect spot for that faith to come into. And that's often what entrepreneurship is. And so I think it's important for anyone who's interested in entrepreneurship to be okay and comfortable with having a blank slate of, in a perfect world, what would I want to do? Entrepreneurship gives you that ability to do so. So if you've been doing something that you don't like on a job, or you majored in something that you find out is not a true passion, what is it? Like,
exactly.
And finding that out. And then who would I like to serve? Maybe there's a particular community or a particular cause, a particular industry, a particular product, a particular new wave. And you like, I want to be a part of that. Like, you have every right to dream and to explore that. And then you can think about, well, how much money do I want to make? And I think what's important, what we don't understand a lot of times as entrepreneurs, the more money you want to make, the more responsibility.
Much is given, much is required. And I have to repeat that all the time. So when there's a bigger thing that I want to do, I know that it's going to require more of me. It may require me not to be with my friends that night. It may require me to say, hey, I don't need to go out for the rest of the month. It may require a big sacrifices. So much is given, much is definitely required.
Wow. Great.
And when we speak of faith, fear. Fear is so common sometimes when we're walking into that path of from the familiar to the unfamiliar, until the unknown. And it takes time, and sometimes we have to pray to knock down that wall of fear. But just believe that it's normal. It is normal for all of us to have that fear of doing something. You have that excitement, but then that's that form of what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't happen? And if it doesn't, you just try again. It's okay. It's okay if you fall. But that fear, once you get it going, then that courage will creep in and you can walk right into it.
Let me ask this. Dedee, did you find in your transition to entrepreneurship that there was something you liked to do in your lifestyle that you had to stop doing or sacrifice in order to go into a business as a realtor? And do you see a sacrifice that in general is very necessary for most entrepreneurs to make once they start a new business in our community?
One thing that during my tenure at Merrill Lynch for the 10 years, again, I was cuddled in corporate world. So I was cuddled. Once we're in corporate, we know we can have our sick days. The money is still going to be there. We can call in, and we had our vacation time. So one thing I vowed to do every year was travel out of the country. So I went to Paris and London, all those places. So I thought I would still be afforded that, in which I can travel, but my business is my baby. So we have to take our baby, we have to grow our baby, we have to develop our baby. So I couldn't leave my baby. I had to sacrifice all those things of time periods of traveling. Do I travel as much? No, not right now, because it's a big sacrifice for me. Even 10 years later, I'm still not there where I travel as much as I did when I was at Merrill, because your business evolves, so it goes from one level to the next. And especially in real estate, we have volatile moments. 1 minute is the seller's market, the next minute is the buyer's market. So we may have to change and diversify our skills. So that takes another time period of learning and building our knowledge base. So I had to give up some things, traveling, having my friends to understand, no, I can't go out tonight. I can't do these things. I have to, take care of my business. And I have to make sacrifices. I just recently had to make sacrifices of spending. And what happened, my friend, God bless LaConda, she passed, one of my good friends. I was showing a home, and some kind of, I don't know if I did lock my car, but I believe I did. But I was so close in the proximity of the car that it was unlocked. And one thing we do know about thieves, they know their craft. If that's their job, they understand it, and they research it, and they know how to do it. So the person opened my door, and he ran down the street with my purse.
Wow.
So someone said, did you have that purse? We think he was running down the street with the purse. And so in my mind, because I just brought this particular purse, actually it was a gift. So in my mind, it was like, oh my gosh, this purse. And I heard something say, don't be vain, don't be vain. And so my heart was dropping. And what we did, we came up with this charity, and she said, well, let's make some lemonade out of those lemons. So I took my purses, my shoes, my jewelry, everything, and I put it on the table, a lot of. And as I was getting this stuff together, and one part of me was like, oh, well, this costs this, and oh, I like this. And something was told me, give it away. If you like it, you give it away. Don't give no one something you don't want. So we did a charity drive for Poise. And we just I called the nonprofits and had them to send over at Hubbard House and different organizations, and they can just pick out whatever they want. And for some reason, that stopped me. I didn't buy purses nor shoes, and I was very familiar with what came out. And that was about 3 years ago, and now I'm in that area where I don't really care about the purses and the shoes. Now, I look at my closet sometimes and like, you don't have anything to match that. What happened to those shoes? Oh, those were the shoes that you gave away. So yeah, I have to build up some because I'm in the business where I gotta match and look good. But yeah, I had to really just take that part away, and I think God had to train me to get out of the materialistic stuff, let it go, so I could take you to where you need to be, and I could save money, because one thing we do know, just because you can buy it don't mean you can afford it. You can go out and buy a whole lot of things, don't mean you can afford it. Yeah. So when you're trying to do something for that baby, once again, because my business need my attention, my business need operating expenses, my business need, another agent, my business need a receptionist, those things. Just because I can buy it don't mean I can afford it. I need to give that money to my business and to what God have me to do.
Yeah, and I would just add, that's so powerful because you also learn how to put money into something that's an asset versus a liability. Yes. So, as hot as those 6-inch heel stilettos were, and, those bags, Michael Kors, Louis Vuitton, whatever it was, like, you don't make money off of that. And there are just certain principles to business, just like there are in physics, just like there are in spiritual, the spiritual realm. So in business, you put money into something that's going to grow. And so to put, for new entrepreneurs to look at every way that they spend $1 or $10, it could be buying a Snickers or, that fast food, or it could be that $10 every week putting towards your business and sowing it, the right way. You will reap from that and it will grow. And that's the economics of business. I will, spend $1 to make $2, period.
And just understanding too that even in business and how much we try, we are always learning. I'm always growing. God is always dealing with me with some aspect of, you can be better with this, you can do better. So it's a lifelong learning for me. And that's one thing I love about being an entrepreneur, because I'm growing and I'm learning something, even a contract as a realtor and as a broker owning my company. My agents may ask me something that I never seen before. Our contracts changes every year. So I may have to, I know where to go to get it. I can call the legal hotline. I can call here. So we're never too big that we can't grow. So even now, that just happened 3 years ago. Lord knows I would not have thought that I would have lost my friend. But those things of instilling value. So when I go buy something, not saying that it's wrong to buy, because you definitely want to reward yourself and you live in this world, but it just should have a limit to it. And sometimes it's just, you just shouldn't do it at all. I didn't buy any shoes or purses for 3 years. I looked around, 3 years had passed and I hadn't done anything. Didn't even have the desire to go in and find out what Michael Kors had out there. I didn't care. Michael Kors wasn't putting anything in my purse. I didn't care what Louis Vuitton had, because it wasn't, bringing anything to me. So I had to change that. But God had to deal with me with that. And you wouldn't think he would have, because I had been in business that long and I know, but that was my weakness. That was something I could have done better with. So we are always growing.
So you've been talking or discussing the next question, which is common mistakes you see many aspiring entrepreneurs make. Did you want to continue expounding on that?
Well, the common mistake, of course, some people are okay with their finances. I have a girlfriend that I can name, and she did not go through any classes with it. When I told you she can save as an entrepreneur, I refinanced her home recently, and I was like, well, how did you save all this money? So that's just her gift with saving. She can save a lot. But I think at the core of being an entrepreneur, we need to decide from the beginning, is this a hobby, a hustle, or is this your career? Are you a true entrepreneur? Just because you have your own business does not make you an entrepreneur, because you have a hustle, you're living from day to day. But when it's a career, when you're aspiring to have a defined career, you have a business plan, you have objectives, you have processes, you know your systems, you know what your operating expenses are. Or are you just wanting to be this entrepreneur for today, like a year later? What are you going to be doing? Are you going into an office? Are you going into a building? Are you just going to sell those cupcakes out of the home? What are you going to do? So we have to define it, whether it's a hustle or whether it's really your job and your career. Is this what you're going to live off of for, 50 years from now?
Absolutely. And as we're getting ready to wind down, how do you know you're ready for entrepreneurship, and when should you leave your job?
Marcellus, you want to take this? We talked about this earlier. For me, I can't give you that blueprint, because for me, again, I stumbled into entrepreneurship. Now, there's no right or wrong way when it comes to what God will have you to do. But speaking logically, you want to probably save. First, you want to know. You want to ask your daddy, ask God, whoever, hey, is this what you have for me? Now, once you get that piece, I would say to set that, when you're making that plan, you're going into your savings, and you're going to try to save at least 6 months, because life happens under that umbrella of life, things happen. So you want to be prepared for the unexpected. And then you want to proceed. You want to prepare, and then you want to proceed. And if you have a piece, you leave. Now, some people like myself, and I can't say it was okay, just stumbled into it and we did it. Now, God sometimes take that wrong and he make it right, or it could be his will for you to just do it. So most times you want to have a logical approach to entrepreneurship. You want to save, you want to research the field, you want to find out your competition, you want to benchmark, you want to do those things that you do as an entrepreneur to be successful. Now, if you have already jumped out there in the water, I would say don't jump off the cliff, just walk a little bit, take small steps. Don't jump off the cliff and invest your whole life savings into it. Take little steps, and then as you take that step, you take another step, then another step, until you feel a peace to just walk out there. So to answer that question, I know I was long-winded, went around it, because I don't want someone to say, hey, well, God called me to do it, and I went yesterday, and I just did it, and it was okay. Well, God, work miracles sometimes. So I'm not going to step on God's miracles for you. But, logically, a logical approach is to save, prepare, and then proceed.
And how can that person listening who's just been touched by what you've been sharing find out more information on how they can become a realtor by enrolling in your school, the Harper School of Real Estate?
Actually, they can go to the website, the Harper School of Real Estate.org. I always get it .org or .com, but the Harper School of Real Estate.com. I do Harper School of Real Estate.com, and you can also visit harperhomes.org if you want to become a realtor, or just contact me at 904-619-9488, 904-619-9488, and eventually we will open it up, because what from the core of just being on this show, it's about your success in your entrepreneurship, whatever your walk is. I'm not saying you have to be a realtor or whatever it is. If you're selling paparazzi, whatever your dream is, just from the core, I just want you prepared, because I do not want us to age or go into our future and we are not prepared.
All right, then. Well, thank you so much for today talking about spiritual approach to entrepreneurship. Thank you so much. It's been great. And thank you, Marcellus.
Thank you all
I
for
think you
having
should
me.
join us again.
I think you should.
I like being a part of the congregation.
Yes.
You all were preaching way more than I was saying amen, but this was good stuff.
You did good getting under that halo effect. Well, at Harper Associates Real Estate and the Harper School of Real Estate, they are dedicated and driven to supplying all of your real estate needs. Thank you for listening to the Halo Effect Show with Dedee Harper, the real estate angel. Your dreams are the wings to your future, so own it. And remember, the best math an entrepreneur can learn is how to calculate the future cost of current decisions. Wow.